Hi friends, welcome to my channel Vibes English. Today our topic is Uniform Civil Code UCC, which is a long-standing issue in Indian politics since British era. Before going in detail, request all viewers to subscribe this channel and don't forget to click bell icon to get more videos from us. Let's start.
UCC fast-tracked.
Uniform Civil Code.
Uniform Civil Code.
Uniform Civil Code.
The Uniform Civil Code.
कि यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड के नाम पर ऐसे लोगों को भड़काने का काम हो रहा है। आप मुझे बताइए, एक घर में परिवार के एक सदस्य के लिए एक कानून हो, परिवार के दूसरे सदस्य के लिए दूसरा कानून हो, तो क्या वो घर चल पाएगा क्या?
After this video of Prime Minister Modi on 27 June 2023, the Uniform Civil Code discussions and debates are storming throughout all media channels and social media platforms. Let's understand the details of Uniform Civil Code. What is UCC? Why UCC is required? What is BR Ambedkar opinion on UCC? Who are opposing this law and what are their claims? Conclusion. Uniform Civil Code is a Indian government proposal to implement same personal laws equally on all citizens regardless of their religion, caste, gender and sexual orientation. As of now, the personal laws are not same for all Indian citizens. Surprised, right? Yes, not same. Most of the communities, religions, tribes are not having equal personal laws. Instead, they are governing by their own religious scriptures, faith, beliefs for the personal laws. Let's talk about some government laws in the country to understand this topic well. Criminal laws. Under these criminal laws, if any person from any religion committed murder, fraud or any other criminal activity, there is common IPC and CRPC codes to deal with these crimes in our country. IPC means Indian Penal Code and CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code. These codes are implementing on all citizens equally in case of crimes, irrespective of the crime committed person religion. It means the culprit will be punished based on the committed crime, not based on the religion. The punishment is equal to all citizens, whether the criminal is from Hindu, Muslim, Christian or any other religion. IPC deals with criminal offences and their punishments, whereas CRPC deals with the procedures for enforcing the criminal laws laid out in the IPC. The next one is commercial business corporate laws. These laws deals with taxes, businesses and sales, etc. These laws also same for all Indian citizens irrespective of their religion, gender and caste. The next one is personal laws or civil laws. These are the laws we are discussing today in detail. Let's see what are the issues coming under these personal laws. Marriages, divorce, alimony means maintenance after divorce, inheritance, adoption and guardianship, etc. We don't have a common set of laws to deal with these critical issues in India. Muslims, Christians and Parsi communities have their own set of rules and regulations for these personal laws as per their religious books, faith and beliefs, while the Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists come under the government established and controlled various civil laws. So the Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists are following the government laws for marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption, guardianship and succession. All the Muslims in India are governed by the Muslim Personal Law Shariat Application Act 1937 and the laws established by the All Indian Muslim Personal Law Board AIMPLB. All India Muslim Personal Law Board is a private entity which represents the interests of all Muslims throughout the country. It was formed in 1973 at Hyderabad, but the headquarters is in New Delhi. All India Muslim Personal Law Board is primarily concerned with the issues related to marriages, divorce, inheritance and other personal matters governed by Islamic law, known as Sharia. Why UCC is required? Prior to 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP party had promised in its manifesto to implement Uniform Civil Code for all Indian citizens. Therefore, ahead of upcoming Lok Sabha elections next year, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi cabinet is planning to implement the Uniform Civil Code as they promised and mentioned in their election manifesto. Not only BJP manifesto, since Indian independence there has been a demand for Uniform Civil Code considering discriminatory laws against Muslim women. The Uniform Civil Code requirement was started way before India got independence. The first personal laws were framed by Britishers during British period, mainly for Hindus and Muslims. When it comes to implementation, the British feared the opposition from Hindu and Muslim leaders and refrained from further interfering with it. Goa is the only state in India which is following Uniform Civil Code till date from 1870 since the Portuguese time. The Goa was under Portuguese rule for 450 years and liberated on December 1961. Let's see how the Muslim personal laws are different against other civil laws in India. Marriages. According to the Muslim marriage laws in India, a Muslim man can have more than one wife, as many as 4 wives at a time. This is called as polygamy, which is different from other available Indian civil laws for other religions. One wife called as monogamy. The second point under this marriage issue is the marriage age of girl child. As per Muslim personal laws, the girl is eligible for marriage from the time of menstruation. This is different from available Indian civil laws, which is 18 years for girl marriage. Divorce. Triple talaq was considered valid as per Muslim personal laws, allowing Muslim men to divorce their wives instantly by saying 3 times talaq. This is different from the available judicial process in India for other religions. If any couple wants divorce, the judiciary process will allow for counseling and sufficient time will be given to the couples to rethink over their divorce decision. Alimony. Divorced Muslim wife is entitled to get maintenance money from her divorced husband only till the completion of Iddat period. Iddat period means 90 days for normal women and until the delivery time for pregnant women. So, the maintenance amount is not for the rest of her life or at least until she gets other marriage. Inheritance. As per Muslim personal law, the daughter gets half the share of the son. So, if a son inherits a plot of 100 yards, the daughter gets a plot of 50 yards. This is also different from others. As per Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, women were recognized as equal shareholder with others. Adoption. Adoption is not recognized in Islam, which is again different from other available civil laws in India for other communities. If any Muslim family not having kids and want to adopt a kid, they don't have any specific laws to fulfill their requirement. Guardianship. The fathers are recognized as natural guardian and mothers are not as per Muslim personal laws. The father has the right to control the religion, education, movement and upbringing of his minor children. Mothers are not recognized as guardian even after death of the father. As per other guardianship laws in India, father, mother, husband, 3 persons recognized as natural guardians. Based on the discrepancies between various civil laws and the discrimination against women, the Indian Supreme Court called for Uniform Civil Code in 1985, 1995 and 2017. Muslim personal laws are available for all Muslims in India, but all Muslims are not using these laws. These Muslim laws are used by some people who want to take advantage in the society. In independent India, the issue of implementing Uniform Civil Code began with the landmark case of Shahbanu in 1985, a woman who was abandoned by her husband after 43 years of marriage. Shahbanu married to advocate Muhammad Ahmad Khan in 1932 and they had 5 children. After 14 years of marriage, Khan took a younger woman as his second wife. Then, after years of living with both wives, Shahbanu was cruelly driven out from her matrimonial home in 1975. In 1978, she approached an indoor court seeking sum of 500 rupees as monthly maintenance allowance. Khan responded her by giving divorce at the age of 63 years by saying 3 times talaq. The local indoor court eventually provided the judgment for the maintenance amount of 20 rupees per month. Later, the amount is increased to rupees 179 by the Madhya Pradesh High Court. Khan was advocate and he used to earn amount of 60,000 rupees annually in 1970s. He was dissatisfied with the High Court judgment to pay 179 rupees to Shahbanu and challenged the High Court decision before Supreme Court, saying that he had fulfilled all his obligations under Islamic law by paying the maintenance charge to his wife for a period of 90 days after the divorce. Then the Chief Justice of India in 1985, Y.V. Chandrachud, a 5-judge bench of Supreme Court, endorsed the maintenance amount granted by the Madhya Pradesh High Court, which is 179 rupees. Additionally, the court directed Mr. Khan to pay an additional sum of rupees 10,000 as cost to Shahbanu. The Supreme Court delivered the judgment based on the maintenance of wives, children, parents, provision section 125 of the All Indian Criminal Code, which applied to all citizens irrespective of religion. Besides Shahbanu case, 2 other Muslim women received maintenance under the Criminal Code section 125. This case was the Supreme Court groundbreaking observation on the need for a uniform civil code as per Article 44 of the Indian Constitution. Also, the Supreme Court criticized the Muslim Personal Law Board for its stance in favor to the Shahbanu husband Mr. Khan. Supreme Court emphasized that Uniform Civil Code would encourage the development of national integrity by removing conflict ideologies and loyalties to different personal laws. Liberals, progressive Indians, as well as progressive Muslim women supported the Supreme Court judgment. After the Supreme Court judgment, the Shahbanu case soon became the nationwide political issue. The Orthodox Muslims felt that their communal identity will be at stake if their personal laws were governed by the judiciary. The Congress party was in power then, and Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister. Rajiv Gandhi government supported Supreme Court judgment in 1985. Rajiv Gandhi asked then Minister of State Mr. Arif Muhammad Khan, who is current Kerala Governor, to appreciate the Supreme Court judgment in Parliament. Mr. Arif Khan's speech was unanimously hailed. After that, the Congress party lost the local elections in December 1985 because of its endorsement of the Supreme Court decision. The members of the Muslim Personal Law Board, including Shahbanu husband Mr. Khan, started campaign for complete autonomy in their personal laws. Soon, this campaign reached national level and the media played considerable role in sensationalizing this issue. In 1986, Rajiv Gandhi government took U-turn and passed separate bill Muslim Women's Protection of Rights on Divorce in favor to Muslim Board, which made Supreme Court referred section 125 of Indian Criminal Procedure Code in Shahbanu case was inapplicable to Muslim women. The Supreme Court efforts were ruined by Congress government by introducing this bill. With this action, Rajiv Gandhi received more criticism from right-wing activists and he labeled as anti-women. Mr. Arif Muhammad Khan, current Kerala Governor, left the ministry and Congress party with Rajiv Gandhi's U-turn. From 1980s, the BJP party started promising for this uniform civil code by keeping this issue in BJP manifesto continuously. The second case where the Supreme Court thought of uniform civil code is Sarala Mudgal case. Sarala Mudgal was the president of NGO named Kalyani, which aims to help women in divorces and other problems. This case was filed by Meena Mathur, who was married to Jitendra Mathur in 1978. Later, she found that her husband is married to another woman, Sunita Narula. Petitioner also mentioned that both Jitendra Mathur and Sunita Narula were converted to Islam before formalizing their marriage. It means Mr. Mathur was converted to Islam with his clear plan for second marriage, wherein he will get full support of Islamic Sharia laws. The conversion was his cruel plan to escape Indian judicial punishment. After the arguments in court, the Supreme Court clearly stated that the second marriage is illegal in eyes of law. Mr. Mathur's first marriage was done according to Hindu marriage law, and Hindu man converting to Islam to formalize his second marriage in absence of the divorce from his first wife or in absence from the death of his first wife is illegal. According to Hindu Marriage Act, once the marriage is done as per Hindu marriage law, a marriage cannot be dissolved except on the grounds of Section 13 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1954. With the Sarala Mudgal case and Paulo Coutinho versus Maria Luzia case, the Supreme Court of India once again clearly emphasized the enforcement and implementation of Uniform Civil Code in India to regulate the personal laws for all religious communities uniformly. What is Dr. BR Ambedkar opinion on UCC? Baba Sahib Ambedkar was in full support to the implementation of Uniform Civil Code after independence. During the various debates in the Constituent Assembly, Ambedkar demonstrated his will to reform Indian society by recommending the adoption of Uniform Civil Code. However, Dr. Ambedkar also failed to bring Uniform Civil Code and faced severe criticism from the various religious groups, major from Muslim leaders. Ambedkar said, "I personally do not understand why religion should be given this vast and expansive jurisdiction which conflicts with our fundamental rights. Our social system is so full of inequalities and discriminations. It means the religious beliefs should be restricted within the private spaces. When it comes to public related matters, the common civil code is mandatory." Following this, Ambedkar mentioned in Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, which states, "The state shall endeavour to secure for the citizens a uniform civil code throughout the territory of India." It means the government of India should try hard to provide common civil code for all citizens. In 1950s, then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru passed Hindu personal laws for polygamy, inheritance and women rights only for Hindu community. But the Nehru did not think of considering Muslims and Christians under these personal laws with the fear of resistance from Muslims and Christian communities. This activity labelled Nehru as anti-Hindu and anti-Hindu politics by Hindu leaders, stating instead of bringing equal laws for all communities under UCC, Nehru was introduced personal laws only for Hindus. However, all Hindus were accepted these laws and following the same since 75 years without any problem. Who are opposing this law? The BJP government is planning to introduce Uniform Civil Code in coming parliamentary monsoon sessions. This is the most awaited parliamentary session because of Uniform Civil Code Bill. All Indian citizens, including all Indian political parties, are eagerly waiting for this parliament session to show their stance on the Uniform Civil Code Bill. As of today, there is no any draft come out for this law, which means nobody is aware the exact content of the Uniform Civil Code Bill. After seeing the bill draft only, we can understand which are the issues are included in this law. Are there any religion critical points having exceptions? Are there any religions are excluded from this bill? The 22nd Law Commission of India on June 14, 2023 requested all religious organizations and the public to present their views within 30 days on Uniform Civil Code issue. This commission is chaired by former Karnataka High Court Chief Justice Rituraj Avasthi. The opposition parties are started commenting on the Uniform Civil Code by opposing it. In India, every citizen, including all political parties, want equal treatment for all citizens. But when the government is planning to bring equal laws for all citizens, the same opposition parties will act against to it. The previous Congress government introduced a Muslim women bill in 1986 to reverse the Supreme Court judgment on Shahbanu case. So, how the opposition parties will react to this uniform civil code this time is very important and critical. Major Indian opposition parties are against to uniform civil code. Parties like Congress, Trinamool Congress, Janata Dal U, RJD, Samajwadi Party, MIM, CPA and CPI are against to uniform civil code. And they have accused Prime Minister Modi of using this UCC as a political tactic of the Lok Sabha elections next year. Shiva Sena and Aam Aadmi parties are supporting UCC in principle, whereas some other parties' stance is unclear as of now. The main resistance coming from Muslim Personal Law Board, claiming that uniform civil code will hurt religious and cultural freedom in the country, so we will follow only Islamic laws. The right wing counter to this argument by stating that why the criminal and commercial laws are following by Muslims. Muslim can simply follow the Sharia laws, wherein the small crimes also will have hard punishments like cutting hand, beheading, etc. Also, as per Quran, Muslims should not accept any interest and freebies from government. But majority of the Muslims enjoying interests on bank fixed deposits and freebies from governments. Why Muslims not following Quran for the interest and freebies? As per right-wing people, these double standards must be stopped. If Muslims don't want to follow common personal laws, they should stop following criminal and commercial laws. Conclusion. As Ambedkar said, the Uniform Civil Code is must for Indian society. After the long duration of 75 years of Indian independence, Mr. Modi is fighting for great cause to bring this Uniform Civil Code equally to all Indian citizens to perform their personal duties equally. The BJP government must consult all religious groups, tribals and stakeholders to avoid their misunderstandings. The government must convince them on the common laws with the facts. This is very sensitive issue and affecting 25 to 30% people across India. Citizens and their rights are important to India irrespective of their religion, caste and gender. Implementation of Uniform Civil Code do not change the cultural and religious practices like praying, beliefs, religious festivals, etc. The aim of UCC is to bring uniformity in the laws governing the issues like polygamy, inheritance, adoption, alimony. Hope majority of the people from all communities will understand the Uniform Civil Code requirement and all opposition parties also will support these laws. Jai Hind.